All right, today we're going on an incredible journey. We're diving deep, deep inside the human body to meet the microscopic military that acts as your own personal special forces. It's an amazing story of surveillance, communication, and all-out warfare on a scale that is just mind-boggling. I want you to imagine something for a second. What if you had a personal army, trillions of soldiers strong, whose only job was to protect you, 24/7? Well, you don't have to imagine it because you have one. This isn't some sci-fi movie. It's the reality of what's going on inside you right now. And believe me, these soldiers are busy. They're fighting invisible wars for you every single second of every single day. Most of the time, you don't even have a clue that a battle is raging. But without them, something as simple as a paper cut could become a deadly invasion.
Okay, so to really understand this war, you've got to know the enemy, right? Every great story needs a villain, and in our case, there's a whole gallery of them. In the world of immunology, we call these targets antigens.
So what's an antigen? It's basically any molecule, usually a big complex protein, that your body looks at and says, hey, you're not from around here. It's the unique uniform or the flag that an invader is wearing, and it's a dead giveaway to your immune army that it doesn't belong. So what do these uniforms look like? Well, they can be the proteins on the outside of viruses and fungi, or molecules on bacteria. They can even be on the surface of transplanted cells from another person. Heck, your own cells can start wearing an enemy uniform if they become cancerous. And then there's this really fascinating category called haptens. Think of these as tiny, harmless molecules, like a part of penicillin, that on their own are no big deal. But if they attach to one of your own proteins, bam, they've just slapped an enemy uniform onto a friendly soldier, triggering a massive immune response. All right, so we've met the bad guys. Who are we sending in to fight them? Let's meet the absolute elite units of your specific immune system, the lymphocytes. Now, looking at our special forces lineup, the T lymphocytes are the heavy hitters. I mean, they make up a massive 70 to 80% of the force. Then you've got your B lymphocytes and your natural killer, or NK cells. Each of these cell types has a very, very specific job to do. And these forces, they operate with two main strategies. On one side, you have the T cells. These are your frontline commandos. They specialize in cell-mediated immunity, which is a fancy way of saying they get right up in the enemy's face for direct, hand-to-hand combat. On the other side, you've got the B cells. They're the masters of long-range warfare. They provide humoral immunity by acting as these incredible mobile weapons factories, cranking out protein missiles called antibodies that can fight from a distance. Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. Let's talk about the actual arsenal these cells are packing. We're talking about a system with unbelievable precision and just overwhelming firepower. So when a B cell gets the signal to go to war, it transforms into what's called a plasma cell. And you have to understand, this thing is a biological superfactory. Get this, it can churn out 2,000 antibody molecules every single second. That's insane. And it's not just one type of antibody. Oh no, the system is way smarter than that. There's a whole specialized arsenal. You've got IgG, that's your main force, patrolling the blood. There's IgA, which guards all the entry points to your body, your saliva, your tears. IgM is like the rapid response team, always first on the scene. IgE is the specialist for allergic reactions. And IgD basically acts like a sensor to help kick the whole process off. But here's something that trips a lot of people up, and it's a really crucial point. Antibodies. They aren't actually assassins. They don't usually kill the invaders directly. Instead, think of them as an incredibly sophisticated targeting system. They latch onto an enemy and paint a giant glowing target on its back, calling in the real heavy artillery. And what is that heavy artillery? It's a group of about 30 proteins floating in your blood called the complement system. When an antibody locks onto that enemy uniform, it kicks off a chain reaction. One protein activates the next, which activates the next in this super fast cascade, and it all ends with a group of proteins assembling themselves into a structure called the membrane attack complex. This thing literally drills a massive hole into the enemy cell. Water rushes in, and boom, the cell explodes. Target neutralized. So while the B cells are launching these long-range weapons, what are the T cells up to? Well, they're the commanders on the ground. They're directing the entire battle and making sure the whole operation runs smoothly. First up, the cytotoxic T cell. This is your straight-up assassin. Its entire mission is to hunt down your own cells that have gone bad, the ones infected with a virus or the ones that have turned cancerous. It has to make physical contact, and when it does, it releases a chemical called perforin that basically punches holes all over the target cell's membrane until it pops. But, these assassins don't just go rogue. They need orders. And those orders come from the true field commander of this whole operation, the helper T cell. This cell is, without a doubt, one of the most important players in your entire immune system. It doesn't kill anything directly. Instead, its job is to coordinate the entire battle by releasing chemical signals that scream, go, 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 telling the B cells to start making antibodies and the cytotoxic T cells to multiply and go on the hunt. Okay, so the battle's won, the threat is gone. What happens now? You can't just let an army run wild, right? That's where the regulatory T cell comes in. This is your peacekeeper. Its job is to call off the attack, to suppress the other immune cells and shut the whole response down. This is absolutely critical to prevent the system from getting out of control and attacking your own healthy tissue. So, we've met all the soldiers. We've seen their incredible weapons. But how does it all actually work together in the heat of the moment? Let's walk through the anatomy of a real immune attack, step by step. It all kicks off with a guard on patrol, a big scavenger cell called a macrophage. It finds an invader and it eats it. But here's the brilliant part. It doesn't just destroy the evidence. It takes a piece of the invader, its antigen, its uniform, and displays it on its own surface. Then, it travels through your body until it finds the commander, a helper T cell, and it presents this evidence. This is the critical handshake. This is the moment of truth. Once that helper T cell sees the evidence and confirms the threat, it sounds the alarm, and it is on. Full mobilization. B cells get the order to build their antibody factories, and the cytotoxic T cell assassins are deployed to hunt down any infected cells. So we've just seen this whole incredible microscopic military in action, from assassins to weapons factories to the field commanders running the show. What's the big takeaway here? Here's what I really want you to remember. Your specific immune system isn't just a passive shield. It's not some wall. It's an active, intelligent, coordinated army of specialists with sophisticated weapons and complex communication systems, all designed to identify and wipe out threats with breathtaking precision. And that whole incredible drama is playing out inside you, right now. I mean, just stop and think about that for a second. This system is so sophisticated, it can tell the difference between trillions of potential enemy molecules and the trillions of molecules that make up, well, you. It is an absolute masterpiece of biological recognition. Which, of course, leaves us with one last really important question. What happens on those rare occasions when this unbelievable recognition system makes a mistake and turns all of those powerful weapons against itself?